Welcome, everyone. I'm Yanni, and I'm a professional life coach. And today we're at the De-Stress and Prioritize Your Own Happiness class. Did you know that you can take care of your own needs first without feeling guilty? And would you like to enjoy more freedom and joy while you do more of the things you love to do and less of the ones you don't? I imagine that's the case for most of us. So today is a really big class because everything is tied together. Everything I'll teach you today, I actually use on a daily basis. Life gets busy and crazy, so having the tools to stay grounded and healthy, to me, are essential to live a joyful and free life. And these tools also allow me to stand up for myself with confidence when I need to, and the freedom to take care of my own needs first. And some of the obstacles that might hold you back from living the way you actually really want to live could be your mindset, low self-worth, or people-pleasing habits. So thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited that we're all here. And before I go over what we're going to do today, I would love it if everybody could introduce themselves and either put it in the chat, or if you're comfortable, unmute yourself and tell us what you're most excited about to learn today.
I can start.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'd like to learn is setting boundaries, right? Because yes, I've always been a people pleaser. I've always, done that. I've come to that point where I'm super exhausted. So yes, that's what I'm looking forward to learn.
Nice, awesome. Thanks, Celeste.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to share?
I'll go next. My name is Danielle. Thanks for having me. As a chronic people pleaser myself, I think I could really benefit from learning how to say no sometimes, and just making sure that I'm taking care of the fires that I have before thinking about putting out other people's fires, especially when it comes to family, where it's kind of a gray area. And so really excited to learn more. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susie, and this is Mariah.
Hi.
I think we are both people pleasers here, different generations. I'm the mom and tend to take care of everybody else all the time, whether it be at work or at home. Mariah?
I've always had the similar tendencies of trying to take care of people around me and inviting people into my life, or choosing to build relationships with people who need more support, and I choose to give more support to, and end up emptying my bucket too quickly. So I'm excited to learn more and be here.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you both. And it's nice to meet you, Susie.
Nice to meet you too.
And Kim says, hi, everyone. I don't have a mic to use right now, but I'm excited for this class and want to prioritize myself, reduce stress, self-care, and setting boundaries. Awesome. Thanks for joining, Kim.
I'm Ray. I'm also a coach, and obviously I know Yanni. I'm excited to see what you're bringing to the table, and I'm here because I love learning, period. So whatever you bring out today, I think is going to be fantastic.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, I'm Joanne, good friend of Yanni's and her partner Heather. And I love all this kind of stuff, but I don't often, well, it's now time to start spending more time in self-care and things like that. It's always been an interest of mine, but I'm a busy person. And so I thank you, Yanni, for inviting me today to join.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. And Leica, Charlene, Melissa, if you'd like to share, that's awesome. And if you don't at this moment, that's totally fine too. And Karen says, hi, everyone, I'm Karen, but not that Karen though. And that's true. Karen's awesome. And really is really interested in reducing stress in her life. Fantastic.
I can go.
Oh, hey, Melissa.
Melissa
Nice to
here.
meet you.
Thanks. You too. I think for me, so sorry, hi, my name's Melissa. I'm in, where am I? Clearwater, BC, small town in BC. I think for me, setting boundaries is something that I've been practicing and like taking care of myself first, because I don't want to, like someone else said about having like an empty bucket, like I do try to be aware of that. And that, like, you know, you take care of yourself first to take care of others. My stumbling block is always that I just feel so guilty about it. And like, as soon as I say to someone like, hey, like, I'm not comfortable talking about that, and then they're like, oh, okay. And then it's always just this awkward thing that like hangs in the room. And anytime it comes up and everyone's like, oh, we're so respecting boundaries, not allowed to talk about that. Like, that's like, wanting to do it is cool. Doing it is really hard.
It can be really scary sometimes too. So I'm glad you could join us, and we'll definitely break down some of those barriers today. Okay. Cool. I think then, if nobody else wants to share at this moment, then I think we are ready to start. So as you already know, we're going to reframe selfish and what that even means. We're going to talk about healthy boundaries. I'm going to share a really great tool how to de-stress in regular life with you. I'm going to do a really nice guided meditation. And if we have time as a bonus, I want to show you a body love and awareness exercise that is frankly my favorite exercise to do. And the more you participate today, whether that's quietly or openly by sharing in the chat or speaking up, the more you will walk away from. So the more you put into it, the more you walk away from, the more you get to learn. So I totally encourage you to maybe grab a notepad or have a document open on your computer, since you might like to take some notes for later. And some of the questions I'll be asking, you don't necessarily always have the answer right away. Sometimes we need to sit on these things, and then it's good to have them as reminders later. Okay, I think then we are ready to go. Okay, so we'll start with reframing selfish, and we're going to start with a few questions. So when you hear selfish, what comes to mind for you? And you're welcome to put this in the chat or just write it out for yourself or unmute and say something out loud. And I can put the questions in the chat for you so you have them later, just in case you don't get to write it down. Thank you, Leica.
I, for a long time, thought that being selfish was choosing myself or my needs over other people's. But I've been learning recently that being selfish is just choosing myself actually over other people's needs, and that's an okay thing to do. It's not a bad thing. So reframing it, it's been a long journey, and it took a long time to realize that that was a possibility, but that's what it kind of means to me right now.
Oh, great. I'll always give you a little bit of time to think about it and write something down for yourself. This is a hands up question. Yeah, thinking of yourself above or before others, only thinking of yourself. Selfish seems to have a negative connotation for sure. Not that it should. Yeah, definitely. So when, who thinks that taking care of yourself is selfish? Like looking after yourself first. That's kind of the key point here. You can just put up your hands and say, yeah, or no. Maybe.
I can't just put up my hands to say it's circumstantial.
Okay.
I think that there are situations where if you're taking care of yourself, instead of, for instance, your child in a situation where the child is in need and you are in need and you choose yourself first, that could be selfish. But if you need to put your own mask on before you put theirs on, maybe that's not selfish, right? So I would say it's somewhat circumstantial, but
Okay.
not trying to muddy the water. It's just, I'm like, I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Kim says, especially with kids, feel like they need to have their needs met before my own. And that's often the struggle, especially for parents. And I think even more specifically, moms. I mean, you're expected to just take care of everybody first before you take care of yourself. So what if I told you that it's actually entirely selfless and soulful to look after yourself first? Because you can't care for anyone if you're sick, if you're exhausted, if you have nothing left to give, or frankly, if you're dead because you overdid it and you did something stupid. And your whole family will be more connected and happier if you are happy and cared for, right? So my best example story is feeling hangry. And maybe not, you're probably familiar with the term, but to me, hangry is I'm hungry, I need food, I didn't plan properly, and now I'm getting very impatient, I'm getting very short, I'm getting abrupt. I can't only barely look after myself, but I definitely cannot look after anyone else. So I need food and I need it right now. When I don't meet this need at that moment, I get to sangry. So instead of getting more angry, maybe someone else would, I just get sad and I curl up on the couch or on the floor in a ball. And I'm just sad because I'm so hungry and I have nothing left to give. And at this point, I can't even make that decision. What do I want to eat? Can I even make something? So I need help. And in our household, when either we notice ourselves that we're getting kind of hangry, and sometimes you don't even quite notice it about yourself, but the other person does, and everything stops. We say, you're getting hangry, we drop everything, and you need food. What do we have? What can we just add to the fire that goes on in my belly? I have a fire in there, and at this point, it's very, very dead, and it needs fuel. And we stop everything and get food first. The alternative is I can't take care of myself or anybody else. So really, it's a pretty shitty situation and it's not fun either. So looking after myself in that moment is priority number one, because there is nothing else to do. If my dog is hungry, that's great, but I can't actually feed him unless I feed myself. And to me, yeah, that's just one great example of putting yourself first, where if you don't, you just have nothing else to give. Maybe someone else who gets hangry too. So I think we all might sometimes. So next question for you, is looking everyone else but yourself serving or hurting you? And how? Put that question in the chat for you. So is it serving or hurting you? Just putting everyone else first, not looking after yourself. And how so? Yeah, Ray says that's something my mother should have learned a long time ago. The most selfless and giving person I've ever known, often to her own detriment. Mm-hmm.
And Yanni, I would answer that and say, looking after everyone else is almost always going to be detrimental to you if you're not looking after yourself also. There's the only flip side to that is that some people are naturally wired or have grown up such such a way that they feel that when they are taking care of others, they are actually energized. They feel positive because of that service, because of what they're doing. But anything taken to the extreme is going to be detrimental. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if giving and serving is your love language, and that's how you show people you love them and care about them, 100%, it might fill your bucket. But if you're not going to the bathroom, even though you have to, and you're not eating and you're not drinking and you're not doing sleeping, because you're just looking after everyone, taken to the extreme, then yeah, you're in trouble for sure. And Karen says, it can definitely hurt you as you can lose a piece or pieces of yourself. You can box yourself into a space with no room for yourself. But for a time, like Kim says, it can serve you. Oh, I missed that one. Yeah, need to be able to do both, look after myself and them. I enjoy doing things for others, but I know I have a limit, definitely. And Joanne says, it's too easy to lose oneself in serving others. Then resentment grows if my inner needs are ignored for too long. Yes, so true. Because if you do look after other people and they don't even see all the effort you're putting into it, right? And then at some point, yeah, it just gets to be too much. And it doesn't feel good, Melissa says, as the person being cared for when they can see the toll that it's taking on the person who does the caring. Absolutely. So next question for you. How would you shine and blossom if you actually took care of yourself first? Even if it's in the small ways. The small day-to-day, we need a break or whatever it may be. So how would you shine and blossom if you actually took care of yourself first? He says you have the energy and ability to help others when you keep yourself in a good place. Totally. The fuller my cup or bucket, the more spoons I have, the more I have to give. Right? If I've got nothing left, I have nothing to give to myself or to the people I love. But if I make sure that my spoons are filled and my bucket's full, then I got lots to give. Kim says, I'd be happier overall, have a more positive energy. Karen says, more space for others, be more open, less stressed over it. Joanne says, natural happiness and simple joy flows when I do make time to look after myself, which spreads out in a positive way to others. Lisa says, I want to do what I do from love with a smile on my face, not because I feel guilty and obligated. Yeah. And we all have some sort of family, and some of you are parents. What an example to set for your kids, or husbands, wives, partners, friends, that you make yourself a priority, and then you can also serve others, right? We can change that mindset of always just having to people please and serve and serve and serve till there's nothing left, or to saying, no, I take care of my own needs and I'm important too, and so are you. And I want you to know that when you grow up, you're important too. You're worthy of being taken care of. Like it says the bucket, but hasn't heard the spoons yet. It's a similar analogy with, I think it came originally from someone dealing with anxiety and social anxieties, I think. And it's similar to the bucket where you have spoons, you have an X amount, and people wake up with a different amount of spoons, and different activities take a different amount of spoons. So some might take spoons away, and then some might actually refill your spoon drawer. And it's different for everyone. Yeah, so it's kind of just a different way of saying the whole bucket or filling your cup kind of thing. So along with taking care of ourselves first, we need to establish some boundaries. And we might really piss some people off along the way because they're not used to us standing our ground just yet. But they're going to learn because you will teach them. because we teach other people how to treat us by the way we show them how we treat ourselves and what we're okay with and what we're not. So that's up to us to teach the people around us. So I'd like to walk you through a short exercise. When you're ready, I'll give you another moment to finish your notes. Yeah, right, exactly. And by the way, we allow them to treat us. Absolutely. Okay, so for the exercise, just briefly, close your eyes and imagine a past situation where someone walked all over you, where you could have stood your ground, but you didn't. And we won't stay here long, but I want you to revisit the situation, whatever it may be, and really feel it. Really feel how it affects you in the moment and afterwards. How it affects how worthy you feel of yourself. And really just feel it for a moment. I'll leave you here just for a few seconds before we come back. Okay, so come back from that situation. I imagine that must not have felt very good. Tell me where I'm wrong here. So feel free to shake it off. You know, literally get up if you need, give yourself a shake, just like our dogs do. Do a stretch, do a dance. Because literally shaking helps us let go of that yucky energy. Because we don't want to keep it. I just wanted you to feel the opposite of what we're trying to go for here, of what we're trying to build and experience. So what we just did is not that. That is the opposite. That's past. And we're moving forward. So we're going to do the same exercise. So again, close your eyes. Imagine the same or a similar situation. And this time, you stand your ground. Really feel into it. Go back to that situation. Feel the change. And this isn't anger. And it doesn't have to be loud. But you stand firmly in your own power, knowing that you and your needs must be met before filling anybody else's cup. You're so worthy and you belong here. You know you are worthy of having your needs met by other people too. And this is freedom. You blossom on the inside, and there might be a feeling of light, soft resolve. Because this is you taking charge with love and care at the center for all of it. So notice this feeling. Notice where and how it lives in your body. Remember it. Revel in it. And you can come back whenever you're ready. You can take your time. So how was that? Did it feel different? Better? Feel free to share, whether it's out loud or in the chat.
I keep expecting other people to unmute and talk, and nobody does. I was going to say, I've never been a person who takes stuff like that for too long where people are walking on me, but I recalled a situation at work where somebody's behavior was always, if they had an urgent need, they would come to you, and I would always drop what I was doing and help them. But if you went to them, they would always like, no, I don't have time. And they were too focused. And at first I was just like, okay, situation, but I noticed a repeated pattern, that it was consistent. And finally, she had worked there for years. I had only started months before. And I took her to a room and I said, look, I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or if it's completely unaware, but I've noticed you do this and it's completely disrespectful. And I've done nothing to earn your disrespect. I won't allow you to do that for me. We need to figure this out. Turns out she just wasn't aware of it. She said thank you. She was very happy and she stopped for everybody. It just changed. But it took somebody being willing to take their own mental health into account and say, I can't allow this behavior to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and look at that. You change it for everybody. That's amazing. Well done. That's awesome. Yeah, Celeste says, a weight lifted off my shoulders, feeling lighter. Kim says it feels lighter. Yeah. And like Ray just said, it doesn't just mean that you're going to be better off by standing up for yourself, but you're teaching people that maybe what they're doing isn't cool for everyone around them, right? And building that courage and with it, the tools to have these kinds of conversations. It's fantastic. Anybody else wanted to share? Joanne says, I felt stronger and confident, which I wish I would have been objective enough to enact when it happened. I'm caught in a subjective fear of someone, the words don't come to me. Ah, totally. It happens to me too. I think it happens to everybody. And the first thing for us is to be aware that it happens. And honestly, practice these conversations. I used to have fights, not fights, but when I thought I would get into an argument with someone, I would literally have the argument in my own head beforehand. And often I didn't even need to have the actual argument because I sorted it out in my head beforehand by myself. But practice makes such a difference. You know, whether it's at home in the mirror, when you're showering, or out for a walk with your dog. And it seems like a funny thing to practice, but practice makes better. And it's building that confidence muscle, the muscles to, stand up for yourself. And we need the practice. And then noticing when it happens, right? And then saying, damn, I was so close. I didn't quite get it this time. And then when the words come, you can practice what it would sound and feel like to say them out loud to someone, or, just into the world. And maybe next time you'll notice sooner and the words might come sooner. And the more you practice it, the better it'll be. So now that you know what a boundary feels like, that feels like freedom, that feels lighter, and that makes you feel alive. The question is, where can you practice this? Because having all these tools and knowing about them is fantastic, but we also need to put them into the world, right? We need to practice them and do them. So for yourself, what's a boundary that you've been wanting to create and haven't yet? Where you could practice this new tool, technique. I'm going to put the question in the chat so you have. And again, you may not have an answer to any or all of these questions right away. If you do, that's awesome. And if you don't, then that's totally fine. You know, after class in the next few days, you can go for a walk and have a think about it, and things might come later too. That's the beauty of coaching, that it always lasts longer than the actual session. So as we learn and practice these new tools in the real world, things could get stressful, because not everyone is going to love the newfound boundaries that you're setting and your newfound self-love and appreciation yet. And like I said before, they will learn because you will teach them. We teach others how they treat us by showing them how we treat ourselves and drawing the boundaries of what's okay and what isn't. And for that, I want to teach you a de-stressing tool that you can take out into your lives today, tomorrow, any day forward, and use. Because our lives have so many stimulants now. On a cellular level, we spend most of our days in the state of fight or flight. And it's extremely unhealthy, because originally it was supposed to be just short spurts of, oh crap, a lion wants to eat me. Ah! Fight, 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 run, run, run. Okay, we're safe. Whew. We're good. Let's chill. And then there would be calm and peace in between. But for now, or for us now, there is a constant state of anxiety, of stimulation, of phones beeping, advertising wanting our attention, traffic, street lights, kids, dogs, cats, videos, things in the world. It's a lot. And the most basic thing and necessary one that we need to do is breathing. And in regular life, most of us just breathe very shallow into our chest. And we never get these full breaths in us that actually calm our system down. So I'd like to teach you a breathing technique. It's called box breathing. And it's a simple but so powerful way to de-excite your body and your nervous system, to calm your whole body down, even on a cellular level. You're literally telling your body that you're safe, that you're okay, and you're safe to chill. You're okay. You don't have to fight for your life right this moment. So I want you to practice it with me, and we'll do a few rounds because I want you to really know it. I'll guide you, and then I will guide you less and less because I want you to be able to do it on your own. Okay, you ready? So how it works is we're literally making a box, and each side has 4 seconds. We breathe in for 4, and then we hold it for 4, and we breathe out for 4 seconds, and we hold it for 4 seconds, and round and round and around we go in the box. And each breath doesn't just go into your chest, but you fill your belly, and you can put your hand on your belly and on your chest if that's helpful. And you want to fill your belly first, all the way till you can't hold any more air. And then you can breathe in more air into your chest. And when we exhale, you can let go of the air in the chest first, and then let go of the air in your belly. Okay. So we're going to start with breathing in. So breathe in, and I'll count 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and in. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. You can close your eyes. 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3. Breathe in. 3, 4, and hold. 3, 4, and out. 3, 4, and hold. 3, 4. And now you do a couple of rounds by yourself. So breathe in nice and deep. Hold. And one more round. How does that feel? You notice any difference in your body? I see some nods. I love this exercise because it is so simple. And I practice it several times a day while I'm driving, in bed, going to work, at lunch. Someone's just rambling on in a conversation. Maybe you don't really care. You can practice your breathing. Invariably, someone's going to annoy you, and then you can practice it after. When you're in a meeting and it's droning on, you can practice that breathing. And you don't have to tell anybody you're doing it, but practice it and see how it changes your life for you. Are there any questions? Okay. So the next one, we're going to go into the guided meditation, which I'm excited about because it's my favorite. I love it. I do it every morning while laying in bed. And meditation means different things to everyone. And that's why it's actually called the M word. And to me, it centers me, it grounds me, it connects me to the greater universe and everything there is. And it sets me up for a really great day. And it also creates time and space to process what's going on around me in my life. And often I actually come up with the great ideas during my meditation, like this class. And the best part for me is that I do it first thing in the morning in bed, and my dog Noah comes and snuggles with me. So I get snuggles and meditation at the same time. It's superb. And many people say, you have to sit like this, you have to be really still. If you have an itch, don't itch it, whatever. It's yours if this is something you choose to do on a regular basis or not, but you can make it yours. You can make it however long, however short. You can sit, lie, you can stand on your head. Honestly, you can go for a walk. It doesn't matter. What matters is if you enjoy it, you do it. And you do it your way. And don't let anybody judge you for that. And if someone does, you can tell them to, with now your newfound boundaries and confidence, you can tell them what's up.
May I
And
say something very quickly?
of course.
Sometimes the worst judge is yourself. So if you're in the middle of whatever meditation you're in and you start finding yourself getting distracted, don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Go back to your meditation, whatever that is. But I was going to say that's the worst judge ever is the one inside your own head.
So true. So true. Yeah. Sometimes they just feel absolutely magical. And sometimes it feels like I was doing something else the whole time. And that's okay. And just as an example, with this meditation in the morning that I love doing, I take care of myself first. I do this before I check any messages or do anything for anyone. It's me first, my time. Also to snuggle, which is very important to me. So this meditation has 5 components. There's the balancing breath. We wake up the senses. There's an effortless silence with a mantra, and we use the word one. There's a little bit of gratitude, and at the end, a love bomb, where we just spread love around the world. If you need to move around, if you need to move around, scratch, or get up while we do this, it's totally fine. Just make sure you're muted so we don't disturb anybody else. And you might need, if you need to blow your nose, now is a good time because the breathing involves 2 fingers, the thumb and the ring finger, and we're gonna close each nostril with it. But if you're sick or you have a stuffy nose and breathing through your nose isn't available right now, that's totally fine. There's no stress about it. Do whatever is comfortable. And just to show the breathing technique, we put the thumb on the right nostril and we breathe in on the left. And then we switch sides and we breathe out on the right and breathe in on the right. And that's how it goes back and forth. So is everybody ready? Yeah, so just make yourself comfortable. If you want to lie down, lie down. If you want to sit, sit, whatever feels good to you. I'm going to start my timer so I can keep track. So close the eyes. Let your back be supported. Let your head be free. Take your right hand. We're going to use our thumb and our ring finger. And closing the right nostril with your thumb and exhaling through the left. And inhaling through the left and then switching. Closing your left nostril with your finger and exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right and floating at the top of the inhale and switching sides, exhaling through the left. Floating at the bottom of the exhale and then letting that air just fall back into the lungs as we inhale on the right. And then allowing that air to fall back into the lungs as we inhale on the left side. You can start to take this on your own time. Inhaling through the right and then switching sides out through the left. In through the left, switching. Out through the right and in through the right. And you're probably finding that even already, your body knows what it's doing. Just you starting this balancing breath is enough to start to induce some deep rest and some deep relaxation in the body. So do one more delicious cycle. Out through one side, in through the other. The biggest inhale you've taken all day. One more sip of air. Switching sides and breathing out all the way to empty. Filling your lungs, letting the energy come up through the base of the spine. And as you exhale, sending that breath and that energy out through the middle of your forehead. Good. And keeping the eyes closed, but letting your hands gently drop into your lap. We'll start to wake up all 5 of our senses, really including everything that's happening in your environment inside of your meditation. Letting go of the old idea that you're supposed to be deaf, dumb, and blind in a cave of nothingness. And just giving yourself permission to be a human person in the real world and meditating at the same time. So start to hear what you're hearing. Feel what you're feeling. See what you're seeing. Taste what you're tasting and smell what you're smelling. We start with each sense individually. And now we'll start to enjoy all 5 at the same time. It's through our 5 senses that we access our 6th sense. The present moment is the future in the making. So the more grounded we are in our bodies, the higher quality seeds we plant for the future. So simultaneously, hear what you're hearing, feel what you're feeling, see what you're seeing, taste what you're tasting, and smell what you're smelling. And on your next breath, see if you can walk through your 5 senses on your own. Perhaps holding 3 or 4 of them, and then coming back to one singular sensation. So again, hear what you're hearing, feel what you're feeling, see what you're seeing, taste what you're tasting, and smell what you're smelling. From this space of expanded awareness and an acceptance of everything that's going on around you, we'll move into the effortless silence. Gently intending to hear this word in the background of your mind, knowing that the less effort you use with the word, the more powerful it is. Letting it be an echo. Just giving it permission to slip away, not trying to control the tempo, just letting it do its thing. Letting it act as an anchor to settle your mind and your body down, to de-excite your nervous system, to give your body this deep rest so that you can be even more awake on the other side. Giving yourself permission to let the body have whatever experience it wants to have. If you feel sleepy, you can fall into that feeling. If you're having thoughts, that's okay. We gently float back to the word. You're doing great. We'll be here for a few minutes, so don't mind the time. Keep the eyes closed. Let go of that word inside again. Imagining like we're cutting the cord to an anchor, giving ourselves permission to start to flow and float back to the surface, into the waking state. And as we float up, as we start to bring our awareness into the body, I invite you to think of 3 things that you're most grateful for right now, in this moment. Even if you can't think of anything, just asking the questions is enough to change the chemistry of your brain. But the reality is that there's always something to be grateful for. The fact that you have air to breathe, food to eat, people who love you. Noticing what that gratitude does to your body. Now we're going to finish with this love bomb. I want you to imagine someone you love is sitting right across from you, about 2 feet in front of you. Just take a look at their face. And you love this person so intensely that it actually creates a physical sensation in your body. And as you inhale, you breathe in that sensation. You allow that oxytocin, that love chemical, to permeate every cell in your body, noticing that it opens and softens your body. And as you exhale, I want you to send as much love as you can to this person. Just blasting them with love, charging up every cell in their body with this beautiful feeling of genuine love. And on your next inhale, breathing in that sensation, supercharge your body with this love, and then sending it out to the whole building. Blast the whole thing with love. You can imagine that your body is filling up the whole building, or you can imagine filling it up with a golden or white light, or even just waves radiating from your heart. There's no right or wrong way to do this. On your next inhale, we're supercharging our bodies with love. And as we exhale, sending it to your entire city, your family, your coworkers, friends, enemies, exes, blasting them all with love, wrapping your whole city in a golden bubble of love. Really good. And on your next breath, we inhale that feeling into our body. And if you need to reconnect with that person sitting across from you, you can always come back to that. And as you flood your body with love, now I want you to send that out to the whole world. So every country, every race, every religion, every gender, every sexual preference, we're blasting them all with love. You can imagine that it's a gold, beautiful light wrapping around the planet. And imagine that just for a moment, maybe someone can actually feel it. Maybe someone who feels isolated or alone or scared starts to feel a sensation of connectedness or safety. It actually allows a little smile to come to their face. And know that as you're sending out that love, it's wrapping all around the planet and it's coming back to you, giving yourself permission to really be a vessel. It's an outward flow of this energy, and we're simultaneously receiving it. On your next breath, breathing in that sensation of love, and now sending that out to the whole universe, beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxy, beyond the clusters of galaxies, and out into the entirety of all that is, blasting the entire universe with love. Reminding yourself that you're a part of the universe and the universe is a part of you. The exact same thing that makes up every star and every galaxy in the whole universe is the exact same thing that makes up your body. So taking a moment to enjoy that, enjoying that sense of connectedness, that sense of expansiveness, really blasting the whole universe with love, and simultaneously allowing yourself to receive that. We gently bring our awareness back into the whole body, floating for a moment between the two. Moving between the individuality and the totality, your whole body and the whole universe. Letting the wave remind itself that it is the ocean and the ocean is the wave. Giving yourself permission to be fully human and tapped into your own internal divinity at the same time. Really good. And from this space of connectedness and expansiveness and love, we're going to start to gently come out of the meditation. Taking a nice deep inhale, breathing some life into the body, and exhaling. Starting to move your hands, moving your feet, bringing your awareness into the room. And taking your time, bringing your eyes to halfway open and closing them again. Taking a delicious inhale and opening your eyes a little bit further. And when you're feeling ready, we can start to slowly, gently open the eyes. How was that? Thumbs up. Anybody have any interesting insights during this? Sometimes when you're busy doing something else with your body and mind, all these other interesting ideas come to light. Okay. And Alicia, thank you for joining us. So you see how everything is tied together. Everything starts with our mindset. What we believe about ourselves and about our environment is exactly what we create. When we believe that we're worthy and that we matter, we can stand strong within our power and create boundaries that make us feel alive and free. And we carry this strength with us into every single part of our life. And your life will change into one with more freedom, joy, wealth, and so much more fun. One step at a time. So I'm curious, what is your biggest takeaway from today? And perhaps you'd like to unmute and share. Perhaps you'd like to put something in the chat.
I took a lot away. Like I've been doing lots of this similar type of growth, but every time I hear things, it kind of processes and absorbs in a different way. And so I was able to take some really solid notes about things that I haven't even written about yet, but I've been thinking about lots. And also just the compilation of the tools that you put together is really awesome for like awareness and grounding and calming. And I've done them with you before, but I haven't written every single tool down. I have lots of them that I just have around, but it's helpful to be able to have that again.
Nice, awesome, cool.
And to do it, it was nice.
Yeah, sweet, glad you enjoyed that. Cool, thanks for joining, Ray. Have a good day. Anybody else want to share? And if you don't, that's totally fine too, no pressure.
I just wanted to share that this is probably the first time I've ever done a guided meditation. So that was a really neat experience, just kind of being like coming back in touch with myself and feeling the senses, and then just thinking about what to be grateful for. It was a great exercise, I think, to kind of step away from everything that's around you and everything that's kind of clouding or scattering your mind, and just it was kind of like an out of body experience almost, but it was really great, and
Cool.
thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. That's awesome to hear. Anybody else want to share their biggest takeaway from today?
I just appreciate everybody else sharing, and this has been great, Yanni. Thank you so much. I've
You're
really
welcome.
enjoyed.
Awesome. Glad. That's great. Thank you, Karen. So before we go, I would like to tell you one more story and extend an invitation. So there are two types of people. Group one likes to do things on their own. If you showed up for this free training and that's all you need, that is awesome. I'm so glad you were able to join and that you were able to take something away from this. Group two are people who want more support. So people in this group want to save time and stress by having someone guide them and shorten the learning curve. Much like hiring a personal trainer, working with a private mentor helps you skip over unnecessary obstacles and make life work like magic for you, and with a lot more ease. So you can ask yourself, what kind of a person are you? And if you're in group two, I'm inviting you to get on a call with me for about 20-30 minutes before a Wednesday next week, because I'm doing a carpentry project then that's been on the docket for quite a while. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you'll leave with a lot more confidence, clarity, and an action step that you can take to start creating whatever it is that you uniquely want to create in this world. And the big question here is, are you done waiting for tomorrow to get started? Your life is yours to create, and nobody will do it for you. Just like nobody will stand up for you and show people how to treat yourself, you know? It's yours to create, and you can create whatever you want. And so if you're ready to kind of take those next steps, I'd love for you to reach out to my email address, and I can put it into the chat just so you have it in case you didn't. Pop that in there. Yeah, to book your appointment with me while I have space open in my calendar. And I really look forward to supporting you. And if you still have a few minutes, unless you have to run away right now, but if we have the time and you guys are still here and willing, I can share you or show you the body love and awareness exercise. So if you need to leave, that's totally fine. If you still have another 5-6 minutes, then I'd love to show you, just because it's my favorite exercise. And I think it's just beautiful. So for everybody who has a few more minutes, so it's an alternative to de-stress and to come back to the present moment. And anxiety and stress usually either lives in the past because you're worried about something that already happened, or in the future because you're anxious about something that might happen. Coming back into your body, feeling your hands, your heartbeat, it centers you in the present and grounds you within yourself. And if you're able to take deep breaths along with it, it's just a beautiful exercise. And I do it before coaching sessions all the time. In fact, I did it today before we got on this call. So I will just guide you through it. It'll just take a couple of minutes. So get comfy and just put your hands out somewhere in front of you, not touching anything. And just focus on the palm of your hand. I'll do it with you because I love it so much. Just focus on the palm of your hand. See if there's a sensation that comes up by focusing on it. take some slow and deliberate breaths along with it. And your entire focus is on the palms of your hand. You might feel warm. Everybody's different. Might feel tingly. Might feel the breeze. Now that you're here, taking deep breaths and focusing on your hand, see if you can feel your heartbeat in your chest, in your hands. It brings you right back to the present moment. There's nowhere to be but here, feeling your hands, feeling your heartbeat, knowing you're alive, you're safe, you're well. And from this point, you can take it as far as you like. You can throw balls of energies back and forth between your hands. You can send that energy throughout your body. You can add body parts. See how many you can feel at the same time. Absolutely delightful. Whenever you're ready, you can come back. And know that this technique too is there for you always. It's so easily accessible. You don't have to tell anybody you're doing it. You just take a minute or two out of your day and just come back into your body, into the present where everything is fine. Yes, Raya, that's the one. How do I know my hand exists? It's the same, feel into your hands. It's the same kind, yeah, same exercise. Yeah. We all able to feel something? A little bit. And if you didn't, that's totally fine. At the very beginning, it took me a couple of weeks to feel anything at all. So if you felt something, that's awesome. And if not yet, just keep practicing. Just practice it a few times a day and you will start to feel your hands at some points. And then you can move it up and down your body and it gets really, really fun. Okay, so thank you so much for showing up today. I had a great time. I hope you all had something valuable that you could take away from today and move forward with. And again, if you're part of group 2 and you would like a little bit more support, then I'm super happy to meet with you. Just shoot me a message. And yeah, unless there are any more questions from anyone. Maybe, maybe not.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I wish you all a beautiful day. The Comox Valley is sort of sunny, so whatever you get up to today, I hope you can take this positive energy with you. Yeah, and then I will probably see you next time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Thanks, Yanni. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.